Hey everyone, welcome to the show. You are live with BROfessor and the Bats. Welcome. Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to BROfessor and Friends live with Tony from Bats Offroad. Tony, thank you.
Hey. How are
How's
you?
everything going on in your world?
Oh, we're just peachy.
Just peachy
We're
keen.
just peachy. Everything's good.
Well, I've been fighting a cold for the last 4 days, and it hasn't been peachy. It's been more like throaty and nasally, and I think I've ate about 500 cough drops since
Oh
Sunday.
man.
So my tongue is burned, and I'm a little chapped about the whole situation, but I'm going to get over it, and we're all going to be good. So here we go.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, it's been a week for me. I don't know about you, but before we talk about tents, I just got to get a few things off my chest.
Yeah.
It's just been a week. It's been a week.
Yeah.
I have changed a few things on my setup, and spent about 7 hours at Artemis on Saturday getting some awnings and tents, and it was just one of those days where nothing seemed to go right. And I got a beef. I got a beef with Rhino Rack because this is the third tent I've had that has not fit the rack, and
They're a pain.
they're chapping me a little bit.
They're
It seems like the slats where the slats on the tents are always the same,
yeah.
but it's never
And
the same as what the rack is.
they never jive with Rhino Rack.
Oh my
Mm-mm.
gosh.
Mm-mm.
And I don't really know what the deal is with those. I know they measure in centimeters, and that's just stupid to begin with. And if they measure in inches, they probably get it right.
Right.
But I mean, it was just a pain. But we got her done. We got her done, and then I went and my FJ has been throwing codes because my catalytic converters are bad. I got 200,000 miles on it. I'm things are starting to go bad. But I thought, well, I'm going to look up and see if I can just get some headers and a catback exhaust and maybe beef it up a little bit, and do something cool. It's been a long
Yes.
time since I've had like a cool exhaust system. So um, I I went over to my local muffler shop and showed them what I wanted, and they said, "Hey, get it in, and we'll put it on for you. No big deal." And
Nice.
so when they told me how much it's going to be to install, I'm whoa, holy cow! But
Was,
I didn't have to do it, so
was it a new catalytic converter or was it just a yeah.
it is long tube headers and
Yes.
a catback exhaust. Um, and it replaced everything from start to finish, all stainless steel.
Oh nice.
Oh, nice, nice
So-
and expensive.
oh
Oh my
yeah.
goodness, I'm gonna really have to sign up for some overtime, and they just
But
blew my credit card up. When
but
I
does it
needed to
sound
go.
good?
Yeah, it melted the credit card machine when they put it in there, but it went through. It went through. Everything went through. But let me tell you, I, I every time we plan a show, oh, something always happens. And I was like, my wife went into work today. She normally works from home, but she went to work today. She was going to pick up the grandbaby after work. I was going to come home, and then they called and said, "Hey, your vehicle's going to be gonna be ready. So I called her and I said, "Hey, come pick me up. We're gonna run and pick the vehicle up. I'm gonna come home, make some grilled cheese and some chicken noodle soup, and I'll have plenty of time to get on the show." That was the plan. That was the plan.
Never goes to plan.
So I picked it up and started up. Sounds good. I mean, it sounds real good. I mean, the best 6-cylinder could sound, I guess. But
yeah.
I started coming home and all my lights were on the dash. I mean, they were just all on my ABS lights, my check engine lights, all these anti-skid lights. I mean, it was lit up like a Christmas tree. And I thought, well, I'm gonna get home and maybe I can clear all these out because I've got one of those scanner deals and I can hit clear. So I got home, pulled it in the driveway, hooked my scanner up to it, cleared it all out, and less than a second, it all came back on.
Oh wow!
And I thought, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me! And even when the check engine light went off, all the other stuff still stayed on, and it's never done that before. And I called the guy, and he said, "Well, maybe they didn't hook something up. Can you bring it back over here real quick?" I'm like, "Man, I ain't got time for that. I got something I got to do." Here it is. I mean, it was 5:00. And so I said, all right, I'll come back over there. So I get over there. I throw Bruiser in the truck. I go back over there. He scans it, and he said, I don't understand. I can't get all this stuff to go off. I don't understand. And the thoughts start to go through in my mind. I'm going to have to drive this vehicle the rest of my life with all these lights on. And does that bother you?
Oh, yeah.
That drives me absolutely insane.
Yep.
And, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm going to have to drive this vehicle. That's the reason I spent all this money was to get those lights to go off because it was throwing codes telling me my stuff was bad. So he said, well, let me pull it in here on the rack. So I took Bruiser off in the grass and let him smell and sniff around and pee all over everything. And they didn't have that thing on the rack for 30 seconds. And here I saw it coming back down. So I walked over there and I thought, they're either going to tell me I'm going to have to leave it here another day, or it was something really simple. And he walked out and he said, well, we didn't plug an O2 sensor in all the way. And I was like, are you kidding? That's all it was? And he said, yeah. So I looked in there. All the lights were off. No lights on the dash. I got in there and I was like, we'll see. So I took off home. No lights. But then I had like 20 minutes to cook dinner, get ready for the show, sit down, and here I am, running, getting all my cough drops and my water and everything so I won't hack the whole time we're on here. And I thought, every single time. I hope your week's been better.
Well, mine's been okay. I've been getting ready for this weekend, but my wife's, she kind of had a rough day yesterday. She was on her way. She was out running errands at lunch and kind of had a little fender bender in the JK.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, no. Let's see if we can see a little bit more about. Let's see. There's a look at your bumper. Didn't look like it did much to your bumper.
It actually didn't do any structural damage to our bumper. Those little isolators, rubber isolators that you see there in that picture, they're pretty well toast. Some scratch the finish a little bit, but the structure of the bumper is intact. That one not so much.
Well, Chevrolet, and all these people. There's all the time people will act like they're going to pull out in front of me, and I tell my wife when she's sitting there, it's not going to be good for them if they pull out in front of me because I'm protected on the front and the rear really good.
Right.
And those steel bumpers against one of those factory bumpers, not a chance.
Yes, there's no chance.
Not a chance.
So my week's been pretty good, but I put a lift kit on the fridge slide today.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I put on one of those Mountain Hatch tailgate tables.
Yeah.
And it was just enough thickness so that the bottom of the slide would hit coming out. So I had to space the fridge slide up, but
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Anyway.
Well, Jonathan's on here. Welcome, Long Creek Overland. I appreciate you joining us. Every time Jonathan's on here, I'm like, well, I guess all the cows got fed and the hay got put out and all that, because he's a busy guy. I mean, I've never seen anybody. I'm the only person that works probably as much as he does, and he works all the stinking time. And Matt said, I saw him, and I did. And Matt, I wanted to tell you, you didn't even see Connie. She was in the Prius in front of him. She's just waving her hands off. You didn't even look at her. I thought that was hilarious. But it was good to see you. We met each other at a red light and did the bro pose together, and it was pretty awesome. Arla says, "Happy birthday, John." Whose birthday is it?
John Muncie.
John
the big
Muncie's birthday
today. Yeah.
Man, let me tell you, John. And he says there's no link on Facebook. I'm fixing to put that on here, and I just posted it right there.
He won the Blue Line Overland drawing for his birthday.
That is awesome.
Yep.
The awesomest thing I've heard all day, John. Congratulations on that. And just so you know, I just posted a link to the show on the Overland Philosopher. We are live on Facebook on the Overland Philosopher. And let me tell you, this is going to be the first of its kind. This is going to be, we're charting new territory here tonight. We're going to be talking about tents. And like I said, in the graphic that I made, it's going to be in tents.
That's right.
So what I would like to do is something that I've always wanted to do on this show. And if you want to come on here and tell us about your tent and why you think your tent is awesome or why you hate it, because I know there's people out there that's got tents they hate. Click on that link, follow the instructions. I will let you on the show to come on here and talk about your tent, and we'll just have a great time together. Now I can't let everybody on here all at one time. You just have to sit there until I kick somebody out and let you in. But I think it'll be fun. So I'm really hoping that somebody out there who wants to come on here and talk will come on here and talk tents with us, because I think it's going to be intense. I really do. I don't know. Maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. This weekend, I want to tell everybody right off the bat. This weekend, I know Matt has a ride or a camp out that he's doing with his people, and so Tony, you're going to be going to that. I know John.
I am
going to be going to that.
I'm loaded. I'm ready to go.
Great time. I'm going to be up at Artemis for Rigs and Coffee. We're actually doing a toy drive. So if you don't have anything going on, and if you're not one of Matt's inner circle where you're camping with him, you can come on up to Artemis and bring an unwrapped toy, and we're going to donate those to Toys for Tots. It's going to be an awesome, awesome time, and we'll get to see the rigs. We'll actually be doing that the whole month of November all the way up to the first Saturday in December. And then in December, let's see, Show Me State Overland is going to host that. And we are actually going to keep getting the toys and doing things like that. And we're actually going to have a rig decorating contest. And I think that's going to be awesome. And we have joining us on the show right now, the birthday boy himself.
There he is.
Jonathan Muncie. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Oh man, we're just having a big old time talking about how great our weeks have been.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, today's been the best day ever. I think that a birthday could possibly be.
We heard that. We heard that even though your mom told you your whole life that you were a winner, and nobody else believed it, today you just proved that to be true.
Yeah. It don't happen often, but when it does, I guess lightning strikes way more than, 2 or 3 times. So
that's awesome. Well, tell us what happened. Tell us what you won.
Well, the Mason had a giveaway for Blue Line Overland, and I actually am now the winner of a brand new Scottle that Arla stole from me last giveaway.
They were fighting back and forth over the numbers.
Oh
yep.
No! That's funny.
Let's see what else happened today that normally doesn't happen. I saw a 6-point buck in a hunting spot that I figured would never ever happen, and I had to this week I had a calf go down and I had to put it down, so I had to go drag it off and get rid of it, and I go pulling by my old hunting spot, and darn if there wasn't an 8-point standing there.
My goodness.
So and then on top of that, I don't know exactly how I feel about being a Jeep owner and the whole duck thing, but I finally got ducked at a Walmart today on my birthday. So I don't think it could be a bad day today. So
I got ducked at Best Buy yesterday too.
Yeah, it's weird, but
what in the world is this duck thing? Explain. What is it?
Apparently, it's a Jeep thing. I don't know.
It's some sort of Jeep thing. I don't know where it came from, but
yeah.
I don't know exactly where it came from.
Somebody left one on Joe's Jeep that was camped with us at Rendezvous, and that was the first time I'd ever seen it. And he was like, "Why is this duck on my Jeep? I don't know. Somebody must have been playing. Some kids must have been playing over here and left it over here." And then I started seeing ducks everywhere.
Yep.
And Brandon Waters says it's a Jeep thing. We wouldn't understand. Yeah, I just don't understand. So it's just one of those things. But anyway, happy birthday, John.
Thank you.
We are in celebration. Tony's got his duck, and John got his duck today.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh man. Well, John, we're talking tents tonight. What? Tell us about your tent, and do you love it or hate it?
Well, I've got a. I'm not the traditional rooftop tent camper just yet.
Yeah.
But I've got a Gazelle knockoff. I've got the Magellan version that you could pick up at Academy Sports.
Okay.
And instead of it being the normal cubed version, which I'm actually going to be probably getting one of those here for too long. I need to get with Aaron up at Artemis about getting a Gazelle. But I've got like the triangle type version. It's the same type. It's a pop-up type style, hub style, kind of like, a hunting blind is nowadays.
Right.
And that's what I traditionally use is I just ground tent it for right now. I mean, being in a 2-door Jeep, I really don't have the room to, not every rooftop tent's going to fit a 2-door. So
True.
I've got to be kind of choosy in what I use. But I mean, I go I'm a huge proponent of, you rung what you brung. So, it doesn't, to me, overlanding isn't necessarily about the rooftop tent stuff, but it's about just getting out there and doing things. So I do it the traditional way with a ground tent.
That's awesome. So, do you sleep on the ground or do you have cots?
No, I've got this little cot that Tony turned me on to the last time we were at a trip. It sits about 6 inches off the ground, so it's not the traditional where it sits about 1.5 feet or so off the ground. So it actually fits in a tent very nicely. It's about 6 inches, so you still maintains kind of close to the ground, and it allows heat to circulate, especially on these cold nights.
Awesome.
So I use that, and then I've used like a little blow-up air mattress, and then that's pretty much all I use when I go camping. But
very cool.
You want to tell them about your experience in a hammock?
No. Well, that's for a whole new show right there. So let's put it this way: I tried it once. I won't be trying it ever again. So,
yeah.
Did you flip all the way over?
It was something like I sat in it and then did this real quick, and then it dumped me out on the ground.
Oh my goodness! Did it do that to you while you were sleeping?
No, because after that I gave up and went and got in the Jeep and just slept in the Jeep. So, but no, it was definitely comical. It was one of those like the old Goofy cartoons, So that's exactly what it was like when that happened.
Yeah.
Look at there. There's the man.
There's Mason.
Hey Mason, if you've got cell service, I don't know if they have cell service where he lives. I'm gonna post the link again under your comment. I want you to come on here with us if you've got some Wi-Fi. We're talking tents, and Mason is fixing to switch the kind of tents that he has. So
he's getting rid of the Taj Mahal.
That is a nice tent
You
he's
know, I
got.
really want him to come on here and share with us. So
Okay.
the link's on there. It's up to you. We need you to come on here and click. Well, John, I appreciate you coming on here with us. I know you probably got a lot of cake to eat and people in there fixing to throw you a big party, huh?
Oh, I don't know about a whole lot of people, but I'm grilling pork chops right now. So,
Nice.
Awesome. Well,
but
hey, we
anyhow,
appreciate you coming on. We're gonna get on here and talk about some tents. We hope you have a great evening.
See you tomorrow,
absolutely.
John.
Y'all have a good one.
See
All
you,
right,
John.
buddy.
Bye.
Man, that's cool. You know, right off the bat, we got somebody that had a ground tent, and
Yeah.
I love it when somebody comes on here and talks about something that's non-traditional because, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, I was in the mindset that there was 3 things that you had to have to be a true overlander. One was a scuttle, the second was a rooftop tent, and let's see, what was the third? I can't remember what it was. But like a fridge. You gotta have a fridge instead of a cooler.
Some
But I
rotopack,
didn't
maybe.
I didn't have any of those. So I was
Right.
like, man, I don't even know what to call myself. You know, it was weird. So anyway, we are going to talk tents and do all that right after this. We're going to talk about tents. Stick around.
Hi, I'm Barry Henderson with Turtleback Trailers.
I'm Adam with Okie Overland.
This is John with Long Creek Overland.
I'm Drew with Rock Squash Design. I'm Casey with US Action Track.
Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Misty from The Day We Make.
I'm here with Dustin Ogg from Oakley Overland.
I'm Jeremiah from Overland Pioneer.
Hi, we're Jessica and Jorge with Live Work Wonder.
It's Chris from More Expo.
I'm Misty from Lady Overlander Radio.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching
From yourself, where Mr. Overland.
And watching BROfessor and Friends.
BROfessor and Friends.
Professor and Friends.
Joey the BROfessor and Friends.
BROfessor and Friends.
BROfessor and Friends.
To the Professor and Friends.
BROfessor and Friends.
BROfessor and Friends.
Sponsored by More Expo, April 8th through the 10th, 2022. Linson Solar. U.S. Action Tracks, Big Iron Overland Rally, Artemis Overland Hardware in Springfield, Missouri, Blue Cell Coffee Roasters, and Long Creek Overland Apparel. Thank you for sponsoring our show.
And I want to thank especially the people who decide to go out on a limb and sponsor our show. John with Long Creek being one of those. And he has in his shop at longcreekoverland.com. Both myself and Bats Offroad have some swag in there. Got myself a new shirt coming with the bro pose. It says "Don't bro."
I can't wait.
If you know me.
I can't wait. That's a funny shirt. I love it.
You know, I don't have a lot of swag, but what I've got is pretty cool. So.
It's fun. Yep.
Yeah. His designer did a great job on that. I appreciate him doing that for me and getting that out there. But tonight, I want to talk tents, Tony.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, this is one of the topics that everybody throws around. You see people post about it all the time. What do you feel is the best tent and why? And then you get a million different things that come up. So I want you to share with me and everybody who's watching, what is your tent setup and why did you choose that?
So what we're running now is a Rome Vagabond soft shell tent up on the bed of the Gladiator. We started off on the roof of the JK and then moved it to our trailer there. But now it's kind of evolved and it lives on the back of the Gladiator now. And this week we sold our trailer, so we're going to be looking for another rooftop tent here for the JK.
Okay, cool. Now this is a soft shell
Yep.
tent. And
It's kind of their mid-size.
any reason what size is it? Is a 60? Is it a 62? I'm guessing. Queen size bed.
Yeah, it's not quite a queen.
Okay. And you showed me this picture here. You've actually got figured out a way to get it off or between the trailer and the
Yeah. So I've got a kind of a standard 7-foot garage door, and the tent can't. If we want to park inside, you know, that's a problem. So even on the Gladiator with a half rack, it still won't fit in the garage. So I've kind of had to adapt how I get it on and off. And there for a while before I built the Gladiator, it was either on the JK or the trailer, and that's how I shifted it back and forth from one to the other.
Excellent. Well, that's a super cool concept that you got there, especially for those people who want to take their tents off that maybe park in the garage. That's always something that people have to think about with a rooftop tent. Am I going to fit or am I going to take it off? It's just something. Well, we've invited people to the show, and we've got another one that wants to come on. We got Hot Mama Pickle.
Hot Mama Pickle
coming in. Looks like you're sitting dark. How are you?
I am. I'm sitting out in the parking lot at PetSmart while Matt runs in and gets some shed things for our bearded dragon.
Oh, man. Got to take care of that bearded dragon.
That's right.
I was going to tell you don't have to take your rooftop tent off to have a good time.
That's right.
You don't have to take your tent off to have a good time. No. I'm open for any record deals out there.
It works.
Yeah. Kara, what tent do you have on your Jeep?
Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
There you are.
Let's see, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Well, we were just there. Maybe my singing knocked it out.
Hold on.
You put it into shock there. The interwebs are still
radio waves. Are you there? Can you hear me?
I'll be back.
You'll be back. All right. Well, she's gonna leave. Matt. Oh, that's why Matt messed it up. He just tried to call her, and that's probably
good job, Matt.
Did it. He says I found it.
Oh, he was trying to find her in the parking lot.
I guess he was trying to find her. It's funny that she was sitting out there and didn't go in with him. Well, I guess she wants to come back. Are you back? You back with us?
I am.
There you are.
Matt said he just tried to call you, and that's probably what did it. Probably what knocked your phone off.
I know. I can't take him anywhere.
Yeah. So, Kara, what tent do you have on your Jeep? She's gone again.
There it happened again.
I swear.
So we have Global Road Outdoor.
There you
go. Me now? Shake your head. Nope. He tried calling me again.
What's his deal? Does he not know what to get? She's off.
Oh boy.
She's off. She has a Global Road Outdoors, which is a lot like the clamshell hard shell tent, like the iCamper.
Yeah.
Sold right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. And so anyway.
We're looking at those too.
You're looking at those too. Well, I tell you what, they're a really good size for a short bed like what you've got.
Yeah.
They really are.
I don't know. We can't decide if I kind of like my Rome tent. I don't really have a reason to replace it, so to speak. So I think we're probably just going to stick with getting one for the JK.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just kind of
You just pop in and pop out, and she's gone again.
And she's gone.
There she goes. I think.
Yeah. Arla's a big fan of the clamshell. She keeps asking me if you've made a decision on your iCamper yet.
Oh. Well, I tell you, it's tough, and I tell you what's tough about it. Oh my goodness! Look who is joining us now. His beardness.
Oh,
turn your phone sideways, Mason.
The majesticness.
There we go. I want to see as much of you as I possibly can to get as much beard in there. How are you, buddy?
Zoom in on that.
I'm afraid we would get lost in there.
Yes.
Mason Berry joins us from the middle of Ozark, Arkansas, the metropolis of Ozark, Arkansas. I don't know if they buried some cable out there or if he's did the wind-up thing with Sarah trying to get service into the show here.
You have to crank it.
You have to crank it, yeah. Out there in Ozark, you got to crank it to get to do it. Now, Mason, tell us about your tent setup you got right now.
So right now, per the BROfessor's original suggestion, I got the Oz Tent RV5
Yeah.
with the front room completely decked out. It's pretty much a Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal.
It is.
So, and then again, going with the BROfessor's suggestion, I somehow ended up buying his old rooftop tent. So
it's not old.
Yes.
It's less than 6 months old. It's
Well,
practically brand new. So
the hand-me-downs of the BROfessor. So
yeah.
But I trust him. So if it's BROfessor approved, then it's good for me.
Well,
That's cool.
what Mason is talking about, and I actually have a picture of it on here that I'll show everybody what Mason is about to inherit from me is the Free Spirit Evolution. This is a hard shell aluminum tent, has a rack on the top, also has 300 watts of solar that Mason's getting. But it is one of the cool things about this tent is it's a tri-layer, very warm inside. You got 360 degree views, pops straight up, and it is. I actually absolutely loved that tent.
And per Matt and Kara's recommendation, I'm glad my wife can't watch this. I purchased the Zero Breeze air conditioner.
Air conditioner? Did you really?
Yeah.
Man.
You're killing me.
Yeah.
You're
I got notification that it shipped today. So,
oh man.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
So we're gonna see how that tri-layer works in the summertime with the Zero Breeze.
Well, your timing is a little bit off because I don't know if you realize that we have seasons in Arkansas.
Well,
and it's not going to be hot for another 7 months.
And I think Zero Breeze thought about that too because they ran a 50% off special.
What?
Yeah, you had to sign up. You had to sign up. They had so many available, and you had to sign up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got picked. So
yeah, thank you, Mason.
I think you're getting Tony.
Now we're getting messages from my wife.
I'm pretty sure that you're getting Tony in trouble. And
well, the good
my
thing
wife too is on here.
The good thing is we're in talks to possibly bring them on as a sponsor. So
heck yes,
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you had a auction today. We just had John from Long Creek on there on here on the show, and it's his birthday, and he won the auction today from Blue Line.
He sure
Overland. That is so cool, and I just want to tell everybody out there, if you haven't signed up, you do not follow Blue Line Overland, you need to do that because they have some great products that they do. It's not really an auction; it's a bid war. No, it's not a bid war. It's what do you call it?
Raffle.
Raffle,
okay,
yeah.
Raffle. So you can buy spots. They'll have so many spots for a tent or an awning, or I know you've got some tents you're fixing to do from Artemis.
Right. Yeah.
But today was a scuttle, and John won that. So you spend like $10, you can get 2 or 3 spots, and maybe
we've had some people that have spent. We never go higher than what the value of the product is because I'm not going to be one of those people that, sells 300 spots at $100 a piece for something that's $50.
Yeah.
So I like to make it, worthwhile to everybody. We're not trying to, we don't get anything out of it. It just, goes straight to our Shop with the Cop program. So,
awesome.
with Artemis as well, huge supporter of us. So we've got some big ones coming up thanks to Artemis, Aaron, so.
Right here around Christmas, which is perfect. So you actually get a chance to win really nice products, and you also get to help provide Christmas for needy children. So
exactly,
super cool thing that you can do to support them and actually maybe bring home something really nice. So love that.
Yeah.
Well, I really wanted to get you on here because we camped together a couple weekends ago, and you stayed in the Taj Mahal.
Yeah,
and you actually stayed in there a long time because when I got there, you you said you had a migraine. All I heard was snoring going on.
Yeah,
But
out in the woods is the only place that I really get some good sleep. So whenever I'm out there, it's my paradise.
Just got to be out there more.
I hear you. Well,
Yeah,
that RV5 from Austin is a great tent.
Man, that
super
thing,
good tent.
That was the best decision I ever made, was getting that tent. The only downfall is, I go out to Colorado quite a bit, and out there at the higher elevations, there's not the most flat, bottom tent friendly surfaces. So, I try to. Now I'm going to have the best of both worlds. I don't know. I posted the tent for sale, but I don't know if I could really get rid of it. I really like that setup as a base camp. So
yeah, I've still got mine. You never know what you're going to do. Plus, at my age, it probably won't be long till I don't want to climb up a ladder anymore. So we'll see. I've always got a backup.
We'll get you one of them overland walkers.
Yeah, I may have to
big wheels
that.
on it.
Yeah,
I bet if I invent that, I could.
The big wheels. We'll get a 270 awning. For those emergencies, we'll set up a privacy tent.
Yes.
We'll get you taken care of once you're there, brother.
Oh man, well that's awesome. Well, Mason, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on here, buddy. It was good to see your face.
Always a pleasure, brother. Tony, good to see you.
You too, man.
All right, take care. We'll see you, bro. All right, she wants to try it again. We have Matt and Kara both on here now. Woo-hoo! The service must be horrible in Conway. I don't know.
No, it's really bad because he just didn't want me to be on the show without him, and so he kept calling me.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
That's not true. I didn't even know you were getting on the show.
He was trying to take care of your dragon, and you were trying to get on the show. Yeah, apparently you're the one who had your priorities right. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. While we got you on here, tell us. You told us you have the Global Road Outdoors. I think both of y'all have those on your vehicles, right?
Yeah, we started off with the Gen 1, and now we have the Gen 2. It's a Sidekick, so we love it. The Sidekick 1, yeah. They're two different sizes.
Right. So are y'all's the same size?
Yes, they are. We've had several different tents. We started with 23.0 because of the light suppression technology and that mattress, because the mattress was amazing. But the best tent that you can own is the one you can afford. And we love James at Global Road. He is an amazing person to deal with, and also they're very cost
effective.
Effective, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so, we went with that and do not regret it one bit. And it's local, so.
Yeah,
and we have a camper too. So we had the 23.0 on top of the camper, and then
that setup was a lot like what I showed of Tony's. Right,
that's because he copied us.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's it right there.
Yes.
Same trailer,
he copied us.
different tent. Okay, there's nothing new. There's nothing original under the sun. So everybody is a copier. So it's just the Bible says that. It's just what it is. So y'all really like you love your tent, right? You like that tent.
Yeah, we leave the mattress that's in there. It's really, really thin, so we have an X bed.
Right.
And that X bed is just amazing. I know you got one off of Amazon, like the Amazon X bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I would rather sleep in it than in our bed. Like, I like it that good.
I sleep in mine without the X bed.
Yeah. Matt's hardcore though. I mean, he sleeps in hammocks, so he's hardcore.
He does.
Yeah.
But tell him how many nights have you slept in yours?
Well, we won't discuss that on the live show.
No.
I'm not a YouTuber and I have a job.
I've slept in mine a whole bunch.
Somebody's got to stay home and feed the children and the dragon and the dogs.
Yeah, the financial means for him to travel the world.
So I have a question about that X-Fed mattress. Does it replace the factory mattress, or does it go on top?
No.
I put it on top just so that way we don't have any condensation issues, but I mean the other one's just so thin. We can't leave it in there though. That's one of the downsides. And we haven't tried it with the new one to see if the new one would hold it,
The Gen 1, you couldn't even, it was so tight in there, you couldn't even leave your bedding up there.
Okay.
The Gen 2s, I leave my bedding stays in my tent now.
All right.
But he also doesn't have an extra.
But I don't have an X-Ped in mine.
Yeah.
But we have yet to try to put the X-Ped in there, deflated, and see if it will fold up in there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
True.
I had one, and I've got one in the iCamper, and I had one in the Free Spirit. And it replaced the original, but neither one of my tents is like theirs because theirs has that part that folds over and mine did.
Right.
So I don't know if that would make a big difference or not. But
the X-Ped really is amazing to sleep on.
It is an amazing replacement. And it's, you know, I've slept a lot in tents, but that X-Ped mattress, 4 inches of air and memory foam is heaven.
Yeah.
It's heaven.
It's legit.
It really is.
And I liked it better than the 23-0 mattress.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, true.
We lost the host.
Joey.
We lost the host.
Whoa.
It's
taking over.
Houston, we have a problem.
Go.
Everybody, this is Wonder Repeat.
There he is.
I don't know what happened just there. That was like my drone the other day. It was gone.
Yeah, I told everybody, I said, you're now watching Wonder Repeat.
They're watching the Bats Offroad show is what you were watching right there.
Houston, we had a problem.
I don't know what I hit, but I ain't doing that again.
We don't have a tornado warning.
That was a good memory. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you threw the Global Road Outdoors in there because, you know, that's a local one. We like to support our local people, so that's pretty cool.
All right. We got to go prep for this weekend.
Yeah, Tony, you better be packing.
Appreciate y'all coming on the show.
I'm packed. I'm ready to go.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great evening. We'll see y'all.
See you in the morning tomorrow.
All right. Man, I don't know what I hit. I've never done that before, and I was like, "Oh no, what happened?" I was gone. I thought I shut everything down. That was good. I'm glad when I came back, everybody was still here, so waiting on me. Well, I want to talk about my new setup. Is completely different than what I've ever had. We just got it this past weekend. Last week, the new thanks, Kara. I appreciate that. You keeping it going for me. Last weekend, or last week, the shipment from Howling Moon came into Artemis, and Aaron called me. He said, "Hey, I've got your tent in, so I want you to come up here." So anyway, we went up there and just racked up on this tent. It's the first time I've ever had a soft shell tent. I've always had hard shell tents. You know, we started out with the iCamper was our very first rooftop tent. We got it 2.5 years ago, and it was just, you know, something I'd always dreamed of having. It was cool. It looked good. It was just a dream come true. Now, and I went from that. We put that on my wife's vehicle, her FJ, and then I got the Free Spirit, which I showed just a few minutes ago. That I'm now going to wheel to Mason. But if you can notice on the way that this is set up, is the ladder is up against the side of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And that has always created a problem for me. Our iCamper is the same way. Our iCamper is a 2X. It's not the 2.0 like what a lot of people have. This was a shot of our iCamper right here with the annex on there. But it's the 2X, and it was also one of those where the ladder was up against the side of the vehicle, and so it seemed like every time I set the tent up and got it all set up and ready to go, I needed something out of the vehicle, and I couldn't get it out because the ladder was up against the back door.
Okay, all right.
And so, you know, when you've got a tent that folds out, it gets the ladder away from the vehicle.
Yeah.
Where mine was, I mean, the door was here and the ladder was here. and I would have to unhook it and set it somewhere in order to get something out of the back seat. Now, the back is where I carry all of my gear. And so it just created a problem for us every time we went somewhere, moving the ladder, moving it back, getting something out, moving the ladder back. And it was just a pain. And
every time. Yeah.
So I went with a soft shell tent, and this is a picture of my new setup here. I got the Howling Moon on the FJ and on the trailer. Now, to be completely honest, and upfront and honest with everybody, I don't like the look of it as much as I did the other one. I really liked the way that the other tent looked. It was sleek. It was hard shell. It was aluminum.
A little lower profile too.
Lower profile. It looked really good. Plus, I was able to have the solar on top of it.
Yeah.
But what I'm willing to sacrifice looks over, I don't want to say comfort, but functionality probably is a better word. Because when this tent folds out, the ladder's away from the door, and we'll be able to get in and out of the vehicle a lot better. So it's a completely different setup than what we've ever had. It is, it's going to be, and this is it on the trailer. We went out Sunday and set it up. Everything wasn't completely on there like we wanted it to be, but it's a soft shell tent, just a lot like your Roam tent is.
Yeah.
And so it's going to fold out and then fold up. It's really good quality. I love the gray. I love the color.
The Rainfly looks like it's bigger than what's on mine.
This Rainfly, and I had this very tent on my trailer when we went to Big Iron. And when we went to Big Iron, it was the only tent that we had from Howling Moon, and it was one of the the show models or whatever. So I pulled it all the way to Kansas, set it up, and when I put that Rainfly out, it covered every single window. And so when it rained, I still had all the windows down, and it never rained inside that tent. And so
that's some of the best sleeping.
Love how the Rainfly is on there, how you can have the windows down when it's raining, how you can see out 360 degrees. And it even has the sky tent, the sky lights where you can see out top. But the way that it does in Arkansas, I don't know if we'll ever take that Rainfly off in Arkansas. It'd have to be out west somewhere that doesn't have dew.
Right.
But it's a completely different setup than what we've ever had. And so it's going to be a whole new world. A whole new world. For us.
There you go again.
And so here, I don't know what my deal is. I'm on meds, so I apologize to everybody. I've been on meds since Sunday. But it's just something completely new for us. And so I'm really eager to get out there and try it out. I shied away from the soft top tents because everybody always talked about how long it took them to set up and take down and how much of a pain they were. And then when the iCamper sets up in 30 seconds. Well, for me, I love ease of setup. I love being able to just throw everything up quick. And so that's what really drew me to the iCamper. But I tell you, Sunday when we put that tent up, it didn't take no time.
Yeah.
And, even when I helped you put your Roam up the other day, it didn't take us no time to get it put up. And you've got extra stuff in there.
We downsized from a fifth wheel. We used to camp before we got into jeeping and overlanding and stuff. We used to camp all the time in a fifth wheel, and I'm used to, when you back in and you unhook. Yeah. When you back in and unhook and set up a fifth wheel, sometimes it's 45 minutes to get everything out. So, to me, whether it takes 5 minutes to set up a soft shell or 30 seconds to set up an iCamper, pop the top. I don't know. I've shaved off a lot of time, as it is. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me to set up a soft shell.
And it doesn't bother me as much as it did, a long time ago. We got that Oz tent, and you know they say this is a 30-second tent, and no lie, it is a 30-second tent. But here's what they don't tell you, okay? With a 30-second tent, yes, it takes 30 seconds to set the tent up, but then you've got the tarp that goes underneath it, then you've got the cots the inside of it, then you got the bedding that goes on the cots, and then you've got the pillows and everything that goes inside of the tent that takes for freaking ever to set up. And plus, all that stuff that goes inside that ground tent has to go somewhere. So it was all inside the FJ. So once we put our 2 cots, our mattress, our pillows inside the FJ, there wasn't any room for Bruiser in there. I mean, it took up everything, all the room that we had. And so that's what made me want to switch from a ground tent to a rooftop tent, and especially one that I could keep some things in. Both the iCamper and the Free Spirit, I was able to keep all of our bedding, our pillows, sleeping bags, covers, everything stayed up.
The Free Spirit would let you do that too?
It did.
Oh, wow.
It did.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons that I liked it. You know, and if you think about it, Kara was talking about the X-Bed mattress. Okay, here you have a 4-inch mattress, and most of these tents come with 3-inch mattresses. So if you take this 4-inch mattress, and every time that you take your tent down, you squeeze all the air out of it, and you seal it back up. Now you've got a 2-inch mattress. So this 2-inch mattress, you've got another inch, maybe 2, to put sleeping bag, pillows, covers, all that can stay up there. Now, like I said earlier, our tent did not fold, so we didn't have to deal with the folding part like what a soft shell does or what a iCamper 2.0 has. But everything stayed up there the whole time, and that saved us a ton of room and a lot of setup time.
Yeah.
It reduced it by crazy. But
it would be nice to be able to leave the bedding up there.
Yeah. Now, Chad says that's why I like the swag. Everything stays when he rolls up the 23-0 1550 Outbreak. Now, Chad,
he has a really cool swag tent.
It's a really cool swag, and I really would like to you to comment on here, Chad, because after we talked the first night you slept in that, it was full of water. Now, I want to know if you did something wrong or if that one was a bad one. You got a new one, because at Rendezvous in the Ozarks, you said, it rained and then you woke up and everything was wet. So I want to know, will it keep you dry?
I'm betting he did something wrong, because he pulled in the middle of the night at 2:00 in the morning when everybody else was sleeping, and he was trying to set it up in the rain. I mean,
yeah, that's not fun.
So anyway,
he said the side seals didn't get sealed from the factory. Okay, so that was a factory error, and that happens. That happens. That makes sense. So and I'm sure 23-0 is good about warranting their stuff. So if it doesn't work, they'll send you another.
Yeah.
But that's one thing about sleeping on the ground. You've got to worry about water gathering up around the side of your tent or under your tent. That's what we've always. But we were going to talk about the different options. They're going to send him the stuff to fix it. That's cool. Awesome. That's good to know. We're going to talk about the different options that you have for tents. First, we were going to talk about the ground tents, and the swag was actually one of the higher end ground tents that we were going to talk about. Now, I've never stayed in a swag before. Tony, have you?
I haven't, but I looked at Chad's quite a bit, and it looks nice. It's got a nice, I don't know if it's probably a 3-inch mattress maybe in it, and looked like it was plenty of room.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't require a lot of room, and if you're one of those that's used to sleeping in a hammock, it's those are like top of the line nice. And once you roll it out, everything's in there. So like he said, he can keep pillows, blankets, mattress, and everything in there. So
it's a different material than what we see out of a soft shell rooftop tent. It's I don't know, maybe like a canvas type. It has a different feel to it.
Right.
So
right. Well, and we were also talking about a different. Let's see, Jonathan was talking about. This is one of the ground tents. This is, I don't know if that's a Magellan or if that's a Gazelle. I don't know.
That'd be a Gazelle.
I think that's a Gazelle, but these are real easy to set up. Real lightweight, not very much insulation at all. But you talk about ease of setup, they've got it figured out.
Right.
That's a really nice tent. Now the Oz tent that Mason has looks a lot like this. This is a picture of the Oz tent RV5 with the front room on there that's completely enclosed. And that is a really good tent. That's actually the first tent that we ever bought. Was the RV5, and Mason sent me a message. He said, "Hey, what do you think about that Oz tent?" I said, "Well, we love it." And if you can see around the bottom of it, it's a different material, like the swags are. It keeps the rain out, keeps the water out. Really good ventilation, heated well. I slept in it 7 nights in Colorado, and it heated really well, sealed up good. In fact, it sealed up so good that I had to open up the windows because it burned up all my oxygen. And they about froze to death. So I learned my lesson really quick in one night. So that's a good option for a ground tent. Another one that Matt likes to do. Matt likes to sleep in hammocks. I'm not really a hammock guy.
I don't know. I've never. I have a couple, but I've never actually tried to sleep in them. It's just been kind of to hang out and relax. But I don't know. We've kind of, one of the things I want to do is do the buffalo run. Take the kayak on the buffalo.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of extra room on the kayak for a tent. So is the hammock the way to go? So I don't know. That's something that I've got to look at.
Yeah, we talked about that when we camped the last time. About one of my bucket list items is to do the Buffalo River from start to finish. It's 126 miles. It takes about 5 or 6 days.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of the videos that I watch, people do sleep in hammocks, and the reason they do is because if it does rain at night and the river rises, you actually have some safety there.
Yeah.
If you're sleeping on the ground, it's a safety factor. So it's learning to sleep in a hammock is something that I may have to just try to get used to. I don't know, because I'm definitely going to have to do that. Now, I do know that they make, and I saw them, and I really want to get one and try it out, but they do make mattresses that go in the bottom of a hammock that make it flat. And I thought, hey, if it'll do that, I think I could probably sleep in one if it was flat. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Something you just have to get used to.
Yeah.
Now the other tents out there, the ground tents that we've seen, and I don't have a picture of them on here, is the Shift Pod. Have you seen the Shift Pod?
I have.
It looks a lot like a Gazelle, but it looks like it's made out of aluminum. It's
now, does the Shift Pod have a floor in it?
I think so.
Some of the ones, some of the ones I was looking at, I think Otter makes one. I think it's called a Hub Resort, but it's kind of an ice fishing.
Yeah.
It started out kind of an ice fishing tent, and I think some of them have a Velcro floor. So I thought, that might be a cool option for, instead of ice fishing, you have a ground tent that's insulated.
Right. And I believe those Shift Pods are a lot like the Gazelles, but they're quilted. A lot like the Free Spirit tents are, the tri-layer tents, and so they're actually insulated. And they're quite a bit more expensive, but if you can get some insulation in there, and I've slept in a Gazelle, and I've also slept in a tri-layer tent. There's a big difference in if you've got some insulation. So that might be those are on the higher end, but if you don't want to climb up a ladder, those are really, really good tents to look at.
So what's Connie saying there? Let's do it.
She's talking about wanting to do she's wanting to do the Buffalo River. Yeah, she's wanting to do the Buffalo River.
I'll have to work on Arla. I don't know if she would sign up for a week on the river, but she might.
She might.
She's got the boat for it. So
I think it'd be good test run to do 1, maybe 2 nights before you try to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just get a test run, just figure out your gear, figure out what kind of food you're going to take, your navigation, because one thing about that, and this is kind of off subject, but you've got to know exactly how far you've gone in order to get it done in the time limit that you have.
Yeah.
And so if you kind of lose where you are and you don't have any navigation, and you've only gone 7 miles when you thought you've gone 15 miles and you're way behind, you may have to quit too early. So it's a whole lot of planning goes into that. But, I have the original 23-0 swag, which is different than the ones they have now. This one does not have a mattress in it. It's pretty much just like a one-person tent. And that's what I'm going to carry on my motorcycle.
Yeah.
So, they're real small. They're about this big around.
Yeah.
And it pops up real easy. And so, sleeping on the ground is something I'm going to have to do is if I do the adventure bike. So it's, there is no 4-inch memory foam rooftop tent, going on the motorcycle. So
no,
I'm a light sleeper. I have a hard time sleeping. If I'm not comfortable, I can't sleep. So
there's no fridge either.
And no scuttle. So
no
I'm
scuttle.
not really an overland.
No fridge.
Take my
you have to go to that little butane burner that sits up there like a jet boil or something.
I got a jet boil. Yeah, my wife got me a jet boil for Christmas to put in there. So
nice.
I mean, I got everything I need. It's just learning to do without some things, you know. And instead of cooking steaks and potatoes over the, on the scuttle or the open fire, I'll be cooking some Mountain House meals, and doing things like that. So it'd be different.
That's harsh, man. That's harsh. Steak and potatoes.
You're talking about fajitas earlier that y'all gonna have this weekend.
Yeah, John's cooking fajitas for 30 people.
Yeah, that's about right. But so there are some good ground tents out there, but there are quite a few things that you have to consider when you're either going to ground tent or you're going to rooftop tent.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that in a minute, but the soft shell tents that are out there, there's really good, high quality, soft shell tents that are out there. A lot of them are, I don't know if you would say identical, but they're different colors. I don't know if they come from the same factory or if they're a little bit different or whatever. Some of the higher quality material, some of the lower quality material. But you've got a lot of different manufacturers out there that are making good stuff if you're wanting something for a rooftop tent. You went with the Rome.
Yeah.
Several people were on here talking about the 23-0s. They've gotten really popular. I went with the Howling Moon. There's also Darchie, makes a good tent, good high quality tent. And, there's just a whole bunch of them out there that you could go with. But then you have the clamshell tent like your wife wants.
Yeah.
And I think she's hinted that several times through the night. Because and the reason that the females, the reason my wife loves the iCamper is because she knows how to do it and it's easy. And and with a female, you don't want things to be hard for them, because if it's difficult, it's going to be our fault. And so I really want things to be real easy for her, and that way when she gets back, she doesn't yell at me. And say, this was your idea, you got me into this. And see, that's exactly what your wife said. Easy.
Right. See, that's what we want. I mean, I want her to go and enjoy, like a women's trip, and the last thing that I want her to worry about is problems with folding out a tent. If this is something that's just easy, pop it up, and then she can get on to doing whatever else they've got planned to do. So it just be a better experience.
I'm the same way. If I'm sitting out there and I get to camp and everybody's already sitting around the fire having coffee, and I'm still trying to get my awning up because everything's not working right. I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
And, that's frustrating. And the last thing that I want to be is frustrated, because I do this to get away from frustration.
Right.
And, and thanks, Keith. I appreciate you. Everything's our fault. Just pick the ones you want to own. That's true. And we'll just own that. We'll just own that. Everything's going to be our fault no matter what it is. But, I want it to be, and that's two of the main factors that cause me to purchase things is ease of setup and cost.
Yeah.
Safety. I can look at something and see if it's going to be safe or not. I mean, that's usually not an issue, and I don't even consider if it's not.
Right.
Quality. You can see if something's going to be quality or not. You can, and that's one of the reasons I love the brick and mortar stores like Artemis and Okie Overland and the CB Adventure Supply. You can actually go in these stores and see this product before you buy it, and you can actually go from one tent to another. You can go from an Alucab to a 23-0 to a Free Spirit to a Howling Moon, and you can see the material and how they're made and their stitch and zippers and everything, and you can look over them and see which one you want. And,
that's exactly how I came to the decision to buy that new grill, the new thin one that's out.
The MadCon?
No, it's GSI. The little
stove.
The little stove. Yeah, not grill. But I saw the ads. I thought, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But not until I saw one in person at Rendezvous that I decided, that I want one of those.
Well, it's different. It's different when you can put your hands on it and touch it and feel it and know, yes, this is what I want. Every Overlander is an internet addict because we constantly researching things, looking up stuff. We want to purchase things for just for the sake of purchasing them, because we love gear. I mean, we're all gear junkies,
right?
And but just to put your hands on it, that is. And Connie says, yeah, that's why we decided on the iCamper. When we went up to Artemis, and Aaron actually had one we could look at.
Yeah.
And it had that. It has in the bottom of it where you crawl in. It has the outline of the globe under there, which I thought was just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And we crawled up in there and thought, oh man, this is even cooler than what we thought.
Yeah. And it's considered a 4-season tent, right?
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. The clamshells shed snow because of the way that they're built. They don't have a flat spot on the top. And the material is thicker. And I watch people on YouTube all the time that are camping in them in snow and winter and don't have any issues. And let me tell you, if you get the setup like what we've got, and you get the annex, you get the annex on there like this. We had the heater set up at the bottom of the ladder down here at the bottom, where the doors are at the bottom on the ground, and it was nice and toasty. It was awesome. And here we're at about 9,000 feet right here on this picture.
Yeah.
And, it gets down in the 40s, upper 30s at night there in July. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
And, I want to talk about annexes here in a minute. But the clamshells, you have the iCamper, the Global Road Outdoors, like what Matt and Kira have. Tough Stuff makes one. And then also Free Spirit makes one as well. So you've got several different places that you can choose from when you talk about a clamshell.
So I think Chris Perdue has Tough Stuff, doesn't he? Didn't he have a Tough Stuff on his Toyota?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I see a lot of Tough Stuff out there.
He was running that diesel heater, and I reached up in there, and I was like, oh, man. Nice, dry, warm.
Yeah. Nice.
I see.
Well, then other than the clamshell types, you've got the wedge style, the ones that open from the back. So you've got the Alucabs and the CVT, Go Fast, Easy On. They all make one. They just pop straight up. But there are questions that you have to ask yourself when you choose what different type of tent. And I really research things a lot before I buy anything. And, I consider everything because I know how we camp. I know what we like. And there's a whole lot of questions that you have to ask yourself. And one of the reasons that we have gone with certain types of tents is because of budget.
Yeah.
You have to get what you can afford. And you said that in the beginning, we had to get what we can afford. And there's certain tents out there that you can't afford, like this one.
Like that one.
This is the Red Tail Overland.
Holy cow.
This was the one that I think this one won the product of the year at Overland Expo West. This is a $28,000 rooftop tent. It's a wedge style, hard sides, folds down in less than 20 seconds. You can access it from your sunroof.
Yeah.
If you want to. Has lights built in, a fan built in. But let me tell you, if I'm spending $28,000 on a tent, it better come with somebody that opens and closes it for me.
Yeah.
It's not doing it.
Yeah, we saw that at Mountain West, and I did a double take at the price tag on it. I was like, holy cow. It was, it wasn't just 2 years ago where I was, weighing the pros and cons of buying just like a regular Rome rooftop tent versus the Magellan ground tent that we froze our butts off in Colorado.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly. And, we talked about this earlier. We were sharing information on it, and we asked ourselves the question. Of course, I know there are people out there who doesn't think financially like you and I think, but financially, a person like us, a regular blue-collar worker, even if I had $28,000, I'm not buying that tent.
No.
Even if I had the money in the bank to go get it with a whole bunch left over, I'm still not buying that. Because you could buy 10 iCampers for what you would pay for that one. And, they're going to last you forever.
Right.
You could buy a whole bunch of stuff. You could buy one of Jeff Kubiak's trailers for less than that. I mean, it makes no sense to me. So I'm just not doing it. But you also have to consider when you're thinking about these tents, do I have what I need in order to buy this tent? Like John was talking earlier, he's got a 2-door Jeep. I don't know if it's a soft top or a hard top, but if you're running a soft top Jeep, what your tent, the selection is going to be a lot more limited than other people because you don't have that roof rack support.
Yeah, and you got to have a rack. I mean, like the Gobi, I think there's a Gobi Exo style rack that, but you got to have something like that. So
and even with your Gladiator, you don't want to buy one of these humongous tents that's not going to fit on there right and it's going to look all goofy. You have, and then Brian that camped with us a couple weeks ago, he bought the shorter rack that goes down below his cab for his, and so he had to get a small tent that goes out sideways. So he had to get the small tough stuff for his, otherwise it wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
And so you've got to think about these things. Is it going to fit? Do I have what I need to make this tent work on my rig? Otherwise, you're going to have to totally buy a new rig. So
that was one of the things about that picture you put up a while ago with the trailer and our JK and the 2x8s that I had running from side to side.
Yep.
That's when I got the tent there. I actually had to switch hardware to mount it to the Rhino rack roof rack.
Wow.
I used the front runner quick release mounts. And it also was because I turned the tent and I folded it off the back, which is, not what you typically see off, with a tent on a JK. But I saw that from Epic Family Road Trip, and I just thought it was kind of nice to have, a little bit of an overhang, above your head, when you're in the back of the Jeep, prepping dinner or lunch or whatever. It was just kind of nice to have something off the back. So, but yeah, that's just different configurations for whatever rig you're got them on.
That setup. I like that setup a lot, especially when you've got something above your head. I like cover, and I like to be covered. So, either the sun or the rain or dew or whatever is going to affect you. So you've got to have that. But you also got to think about whether a hard shell tent or a soft shell tent, where are you going to go with this? What trails are you going to do? There are some trails in Arkansas that will rip a soft tent to shreds.
Yeah.
But then you've got these hard shell tents, like there's a huge weight difference between the one I took off and the one that I put on. And so you're talking about one weighs a little over 200 pounds and one weighs maybe 100 pounds.
Ooh.
And so huge weight difference. So if you're going on Black Bear Pass, how much weight do you want to put on top of your Jeep?
Going down the steps?
Going down the steps. You don't want much. You don't want much. So how much weight are you going to add to the top of your Jeep by putting this tent on?
Yeah.
And so do you leave the rain flies on when you fold them up? Yes, we do. Yeah, the rain flies stay on. Everything go in the bag. But
now if we get out west, like you said earlier, I might take it off then. But
yeah, the places that don't have dew. I mean, if you take a rain fly off in Arkansas, you're gonna wake up wet.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. We've got too much dew, too much humidity. But you get out west where there's no humidity, you can sleep under the stars and not have to worry about waking up wet. And I don't like waking up wet.
That'd be nice. It's on my
to-do
nice. List.
Another question you have to ask yourself: are you willing to pay for convenience and comfort? And so, do you want this soft shell tent that's $1,500 and a little harder to set up, or do you want this iCamper that's $3,000 and 30 seconds to set up? So are you willing to pay for convenience and comfort? And some people are, some people are not. Now, when we bought our iCamper, I told my wife, I said, I will not be satisfied unless this is what I have. And so I saved and I saved and I saved until we got it. And we still have it, years and years later, we still have it because I love that tent. And I have no regrets about getting that tent at all. But, some people want that Smitty built because it costs $700.
Yeah.
But then it's not 2 months down the road, and I have a buddy who will testify to this. He bought one, used it once, sent it back. He said that thing about killed me trying to set it up and take it down. It was just murder.
Yeah.
So, and I said, well, there's a difference between a $700 tent and a $2,000 tent. There's a big difference. Quality, ease of setup. That's what you're paying for.
Yeah.
And so, like the Rome tent that you have, it's easy to set up. The Howling Moon that I just got, it was easy to set up. And I've never had a Smitty built tent or, one of the Chinese knockoffs of one of these tents. So I really couldn't tell you how easy they are to set up and take down, but I've never heard somebody say, "Oh, that's a breeze."
Yeah.
That's a breeze. So
part of the reason we chose the Rome is just aesthetics. I mean, I've got a big issue, with how things look, and I don't have anything against, like 23-0 or anything, but I'm just not a fan of green and orange on my Snazberry Gladiator, so like.
Snazberry, is that?
That's what it's called, Snazberry Pearl. Yeah.
Oh, I'm loving that.
So
that's funny that Jeep that can't even put a full word together. They have to name everything in certain letters. It's ridiculous. One of the longest color names that they could think of. That's great.
Yeah.
I love that. But
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. When we took the Rhino Rack awning off and put the Howling Moon awning on, here I was. I had a black tent with a brown awning.
Yeah.
And you know, any female out there, and tell me if I'm wrong, ladies, but black and brown don't go together. You just don't wear those together. The black is a family, brown is a family. And so when I opened everything up and I flew my drone up to take a cool drone shot, I thought, that's just ugly.
I don't like it. Yeah.
So the other day when I flew it up over my Howling Moon tent, my Howling Moon awning, and they matched, I mean, it just melted my heart. It was just finally the moons have aligned. Things have come together.
There you go.
Oh, Jared said he knows what it's called. It's called meowberry.
Meowberry, that's right. I don't even remember where that came from. There might have been some. I don't know. There might have been some. Yeah, it must match, but
yeah,
that was at Rendezvous that came up around the campfire. I don't remember what. Anyway, never mind.
Well, another one of the questions that you have to ask yourself is, am I going to be able to sleep in this tent? Now, a lot of the tents that you buy, the mattresses are horrible. I'm sitting here right beside the mattress. The original mattress from the iCamper is right here. It's in our house because I slept on that thing for 9 days, and on the second day, it took me about 30 minutes to be able to walk. On the 9th day, it took me about an hour to be able to walk. I mean, my hips, and I'm a side sleeper, so it just killed me. It's a 2-inch mattress. And when I heard about the X-Bed, I thought that's, you know, if I don't sleep, if you go camping and you don't sleep, you're not having fun. You're miserable. Yeah. And especially on a long period of time. And so when somebody talked to me about a 4-inch memory foam air mattress, I thought, that's genius. Why have I not heard of this before? And so we got it. I slept in it one night. It got a hole in it.
Oh, no.
Rendezvous last year, 2020, first night. I got in it. And I went to sleep, and I thought, oh, my gosh, this is amazing. I woke up, and I was sleeping on the aluminum floor because all the air was out of it. And I thought, this can't be right. I mean, I just spent a lot of money on this mattress. Well, I looked for a hole, couldn't find it. I contacted X-Bed. X-Bed mattresses are expensive, but let me tell you this. Their customer service is amazing. They said, put that thing in, send it back to us. We'll fix it. We'll send it back. So I sent it to them. A week later, I got a confirmation number from FedEx. Got it back. It looked like a brand new mattress. I don't know if they fixed the one I had and sent me that one back or sent me a brand new one. All I know is it works perfect now. So X-Bed 4-inch memory foam self-inflatable mattress. They are the bee's knees. They're awesome.
It's self-inflatable.
Yes. It has a screw on this side and a screw on this side. This side, or maybe this side. You take one of them out, it inflates itself. You just screw it back on. It's done. When you go to deflate it, the other side is the deflate. So you unscrew this, fold it over a couple times, screw it back on, and it's done. And I think I just cost you some money.
Yeah. So I would say, you know, the mattress that we have in the Roam tent is pretty firm, and we added an eggshell layer to it. So it gets pretty. Left is inflate, right is deflate. Yeah.
She knows that's her job.
So I would imagine that the bed situation is probably similar in terms of at least probably the thickness and then how they fold over to your Howling Moons. Do you think you could fit one of those in your Howling Moons?
Well, the problem with that is going to be the size of the mattress, because the size of the mattress that we have now is full size. and then we've got a queen size, so the tent is bigger. So being able to find a mattress that size. Now I know XBED makes all different sizes of mattresses, so you can buy one the size that you need.
But it wouldn't hurt it to fold.
It would not hurt it to fold.
Okay.
Would not hurt it to fold. In fact, I'm sure it would work, because when you deflate that XBED mattress, it is as thin or thinner than the original mattress is. Because when you get all the air out, you're actually compressing the foam as well. And so you're actually making a 4-inch mattress 1.5 inches thick. And
I'm wondering if I could replace it with an XPad and then leave our bedding up there.
That's a good question. That would be an experiment.
Might have to try that out.
Worth a shot.
Might try that in December.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but they're worth it, because a lot of the mattresses in these tents are not good, and people are having to do improvements or replace them. And don't skimp on a tent or on a mattress, because you're going to end up not being able to sleep and you're going to be miserable.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a question. Another thing that you have to ask yourself is bedding. How will you stay warm or cool? Will your bedding stay up there? Because if your bedding will not go in your tent, then it's got to go somewhere. And that was the problem we had with the ground tent when we put all of our bedding inside the FJ, which is not a big vehicle. It's about the same size as a Jeep.
Yeah.
It takes up all the space.
Yeah.
And so we lost a lot of space. So that was definitely something that that we had to think about. He said, would the mattress work on top of an E-Track system in a cargo trailer? Yes. Yes, it would. It'll just fold up or roll up, or it'll stay there. I don't know what an E-Track system is. Do you?
So I think that's a track system that goes on the floor that's got little slots in it that you can move, like D-rings to attach ratchet straps to handlebars on a motorcycle or something.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Is it durable enough? They're pretty durable. They're very well made. And I found a one on Amazon that's just like the XBED. In fact, I've got one of each, and if you put them up beside each other, you cannot tell the difference between the two. In fact, I think they were made in the same factory. And it's called a Cuomo Top. I got it off on Amazon. It was less than half the price, so it was $179, where the XBED was about $450. Very expensive for the XBED. So they're very durable. And if if you do get a hold of them, they do warranty. But staying warm is a big deal.
Yeah.
If you're freezing to death, you will not sleep.
No, we went to Colorado last year in our Magellan cabin tent and froze our rears off. We even had our my buddy propane heater going, and we had so much frost on the inside of the tent. It was ridiculous.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. You also have to think, if I'm going to use a heater, where am I going to put it?
Yeah.
So if you have a rooftop tent, where are you going to put a buddy heater?
So I have, for our shower tent, I have one of those bamboo folding floors. And it folds into, it's about the size of a cutting board when it's folded. Mm-hmm. And I just lay it right in there and set my heater right on top of it.
Cool. I actually made a corner table, folds down flat. I ordered some table legs that come down, and I made it in a triangle shape. So up in the iCamper, I'm losing my voice.
Yeah.
Up in the iCamper, it goes in the corner. So it has 2 legs in the corner and 2 legs out here. And you could set the buddy heater on it, and that way it was above the mattress where we would knock it over when we flip and flop in the night. So it worked really well.
I don't leave mine on. I just warm the tent up, and then I get in there and shut it off, and then I turn it on right when I wake up and kind of warm it back up.
Well,
But-
for us, the easiest way to keep warm was to put the annex on. And then
and you could set it down there and the heat
set it
would
on the ground
rise.
because the
Yeah.
heat rises. Yeah, I've got one. Thanks, babe. I got one more now. She brought me another cough drop, my 752nd cough drop this week.
Nice.
But to put the annex on is the actual best way to stay warm because the heat rises.
Yeah.
If you have a diesel heater, they actually are adjustable from 1 to 10, so you can actually turn the heat up, turn the heat down. But you have to remember you cannot adjust the fan, so the fan always blows.
Yeah.
You just adjust the amount of heat that it's blowing out. And the way that we adjust our temperature in the tent is opening the windows and closing the windows. And so you can turn the heat down, you can turn the heat up. If it's still too hot, you can open one of the windows, crack the windows, let some cool air in. And so it's having the annex on was the absolute best way to be warm. Plus, when you get up in the morning and you go down to change clothes, brush your teeth, whatever, you're still in the warm spot.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you go camping out in Colorado where it's freezing until about 9 o'clock and then it starts to warm up, well, you've got a warm place to stay until it starts warming up. So the annex to us is a big deal. That's a big deal to us. And so I spent the extra money to get the iCamper annex. The Free Spirit didn't come with one. It wasn't an option. And so that was something that we had to deal with, something we had to learn. Now this new Howling Moon that we've got an annex for it. And that's what I told Aaron at Artemis. I said, that's one of the things that we have to have. It's an annex. We got to have an annex.
Yeah.
Because that's just, where we go, what we like to do. That's just something that brings us to a whole different level of comfort. And so, that's something that we had to have. So the annex was a big deal to us. Do you have an annex for your ROM?
Yeah.
And do you use it very much?
I would say that I probably don't, if I'm going to be moving, if I move the vehicle between nights, I probably won't put it up.
Yeah.
But if we're base camp and we're just, on a riverbank somewhere and we're not moving all weekend, yeah, I'll put it up. But otherwise, we'll put we've got an OVS shower tent, and otherwise we'll put that up, to handle the other stuff that needs to be done.
Right. Right. Well, if you're by yourself, that's one thing. But if you've got your wife with you, that's a whole nother level there, because you've got a whole men. Our standard of privacy is not anywhere close to what a female's is. And so if you don't have a shower tent, or if you don't have an annex, where are you going to get this privacy from? And so, that's another thing my wife said when I switched this tent, I had to take the shower room off. I had a 23-0 shower, Peregrine shower enclosure, and I had to take it off because the tent's not the same way. It had the part that folded over, and where the tent folds over was where the shower was. And so she was like, I don't like this. I want to have I got to have my privacy room.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, because, their standard of privacy is not anywhere close to us. We can go behind a tree. That's what Keith says, go behind a big tree. We're okay with that. But, the very first time that we ever went camping together, me and my wife, we went with some other couples, and we had one of those cheap shower tents that you can just throw and it pops up. I hate that thing. I've lost my religion about 5 times with that thing.
Right.
But we had one of those, and it was right beside our tent. And the people that we went with did not have one, and they had kids in their tent, and all they had was a tent. And every morning, the mom would have to walk. We would see her walking all the way down the road to get some privacy to do her business, whatever. And, Connie just had to go in the tent, and everything was fine. Change clothes, go to the bathroom, whatever. And so that's a big deal. That's the comfort that a lot of females are looking for. And,
Yeah.
you got to have that in some way, whether it's an annex or shower enclosure, whatever. Because a lot of these tents, you can't sit up in, you can't stand up in.
Right.
It's very, the last time I tried to put my clothes on in the top of that Free Spirit tent, I got a leg cramp and almost ended up on the ground.
Yeah.
I almost ended up on the ground. So
I usually just end up going to bed and sleeping in my shorts, and that way I can just,
Yeah. Well, you just figure out what works for you. And,
that's right.
But like I said, when it's just us, it's one thing. But when you got the females, it's a whole different deal. And we've camped both ways. We've pulled the trailer out to I don't know how many different states now. We've base camped, and we go out and we come back. We go out and we come back, and I love that because you only have to set everything up one time.
Mm-hmm.
And then last summer, we like I showed the picture of the iCamper. We stayed in a different spot every night, and we didn't have a plan. And I love that too. And it's a whole different feeling of exploration.
Yeah.
You don't have a plan. Where you don't know where you're going to stop, and you don't care.
Yeah.
And the less you set up, the better.
Right.
Because you're setting it up and taking it down every single day. But it just depends on: are we going to be in a hurry? We've only got 9 days to do this. Do we have a schedule of all these things that we want to see and places that we want to go and do this? Because if we set this up, it's going to be another hour.
Yeah.
To set it up and take it down. That's time that we could be out driving. That's 60 miles down the road we could be. So there's a lot of different things you have to think about when you're doing that.
Yeah, we took that approach going to Colorado last year, just not really having a plan. And I could tell that it was not normal, but I could tell it. Arla was like, "Now, where are we camping tonight?" I don't know. We'll find a place. Yeah.
And when you're out west, it's really no big deal because it's all public land. And if you're out in the national forest, it's no big deal because it's all public land. But if you are where you and I had that conversation the other day, where we're trying to plan a trip to Big Bend, and there's no public land where you could just show up and camp, it all has to be reserved.
Yeah.
Then that's a whole different story. And it's just a whole lot to think about.
Yeah.
And talking about tents and places that you're actually going to stay is a big deal, because if you're not comfortable and it takes you forever and it wears you out to set it up, it's not going to be fun. And that's going to be the thing that frustrates you and keeps you from going.
Yeah. That's right.
So it's a lot to think about. Well, Tony, I've learned a lot tonight, and we've gone way over our time, but we have.
It was a good show. It was fun.
Fun. I loved having everybody come on. That was fun.
I know it.
Yeah,
I know it. I love that.
Well, we're gonna do this again. We're gonna do this again, and this may be the start of something really cool.
I think so. I hope so.
I hope so too. Well, I appreciate you being here with me. I know you've had a long week, and I've had a long week, but by gosh, we had a great show, and I hope you all got something out of it. I know I did.
I did too.
All right. Well, everybody, be good, stay safe, get out there and enjoy this life while you still have time, because that's one thing that we're never guaranteed is time.
That's right.
And while you're doing that, Tony, take care. Everybody else, look out for number 1 and don't step in number 2. Have a great week.
Dance, baby, don't stop.
Thank you for watching
BROfessor and Friends.
Sponsored by U.S. Action Tracks, Lincoln Solar, More Expo, Big Iron Overland Rally, Blue Cell Coffee Roasters, Long Creek Overland Apparel, and our good friends at Artemis Overland Hardware. Thank you for watching our show. We'll see